Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to weed and seed in the back prairie. We got rain coming today. It's a very foggy morning. Got a heavy fog down in the hollow there. But I gotta get this area weeded and seeded before the rain comes. And I also have to cut all the parts for the sills on the addition there. So I'm out here pretty early. So if you've seen my videos before, the whole idea of weed and seed is to get stuff like this. That is one foxtail plant and it's going to seed. So what I'm going to do is just yank that out, drop some seed down in the hole, and I generally drop more than what's needed so that the seed is at several different levels in the hole, in hopes that at least one of them will come up. So we got a big one there, a big foxtail there, and then just here and there. This stuff was all done, and this is what happens. I think this is a little blue stem right here. This is the result, and right there I get random clumps of beneficial, or not beneficial, but the desired grasses kind of scattered about. And I get rid of the seed bank that would drop from, especially these yellow foxtail. There, and there. That's probably only 4 plants, but it would drop, 500,000 seeds. So one here, one there. And then we got these, I think it's goosegrass. Got quite a bit of those in here. Those are really hard to get out. So I'm just going to do what I can. I'm going to give it about an hour. And then I got to get them sill parts cut before the rain. And then I got to get on to my day job while the rain is here. So let me grab some seed. I got 4 different kinds of seed out here. All of these prairies are, for the most part, they're little blue stem, except for the North Prairie, which is big blue stem. I'm going to mix in like a larger area, like right over there. I'm going to put some Indian grass there, especially because it's down the hill a little bit, so it won't, it won't block the view or anything. But Indian grass is a bit taller, and I want to get areas where there's a clump of Indian grass. Side oats is fairly small. I'm going to mix that in here and there. So I'll just do one at a time. I'm going to start with the Indian grass and do that big patch right there. I'm not real good at getting these cameras aimed, so I hope this is right. There you can see just how extensive one foxtail is. So this whole patch is not a whole bunch of foxtail. And if it's going to seed like this, I'd like to get the plant out of here so that it doesn't drop seed onto the ground, but I don't want to walk back and forth through all this young grass either. So, all right, now Now sprinkle some Indian grass seed on that. And if you're just doing one, hopefully this camera's right, if you're just doing one weed, it'll leave a hole, but a whole patch like that just makes a nice area to put the seeds. So I got some seeds on the ground and some seeds buried, and then I'll move on to another place. Got one there, real big one right behind me, which I will do again with Indian grass. Yeah, I got a whole patch going through here and over there. I'll do all this in Indian grass, and then I'll switch over to little blue stem for some of these. You can see underneath this, all the prairie grasses are growing. So once these are yanked out, the prairie grasses will get some much needed light before the end of the year. And if I have no place to toss this, I try to toss it onto an area where it will provide a little bit of mulch for real young seedlings, like this area right here. Sounds like the mailman's here. Okay, that's a single one. So I got a little pinch of seeds, drop some down in the hole, and as I'm covering the hole, I drop a few more as I'm doing it, and I get them at different levels. This is all one big chunk of grass. Now, like I said, well, maybe I didn't say, the foxtail is annual. So it will come up again where it's seeded, if it can. But once this prairie grass is denser, it's just going to go away. It's I have a dog with me. Hi, pup. I hope you're here to help and not to hinder. Yeah, getting this, these are some pretty big clumps. Grub. The grubs are kind of a bad thing to have. Not only do they mess with your roots of your plant, but the skunks are on the lookout for them right now. They'll tear up your lawn trying to get at them. Yeah, with this one I pulled up I think that's all. A lot of this grass is perennial rye, which is not the final grass. It's a nurse grass that will help shield the main grasses as they develop. Yeah, this fall I'm going to burn this pile, dice up this big log. Most of these other logs are going to stay here, but I got to take these two trees down, and that's about it for this area. And that tree over there, Try to tilt my head so you can see. Get that all in this pile, and this will make a big fire, which will, of course, kill everything right in that spot. But then I'll replant that next year. I can just leave it, but the problem is I'll end up with just a giant weed patch right there because I can't get in to do anything. Okay, I gotta put my seed down. This is a giant one. Not much roots on it though. Okay, so some seeds buried, some seeds on top, and I will step on it as I work my way past it to get the seeds in intimate contact with the soil. And usually, a normal prairie planting, people do acres and acres at a time, and they don't get out there and weed at all. And that'll be the case in other areas on our land. Izzy, come. I can't remember where oops. Lost sight of the hole that I just made. Other areas away from the house especially, we will just be doing normal, let the weeds grow, and the prairie grasses will outcompete them after a while. See if I got something to shove it in, like that stump there. I'll just shove it on there, let it dry. Izzy has no patience whatsoever for this kind of work. Where'd she go? Yeah, she's already out of here. Izzy? Too far, honey. So I'm going to have to wrap up soon, because it looks like I'm watching this one. You want to go for a walk, big girl? Soon, honey. Let me wrap up. Okay, so I got that big patch out of there. And there's Big Maisie. I don't even want to pet her with these hands. Hi, big kitty. She really loves this tall grass. Okay, one more Indian grass right here. Well, actually, a few right around this stump. So this will get easier every year, but planting a prairie is definitely a multi-year process, because prairie grasses take 3 to 5 years to mature, and after the first year, or actually late in the first year, they start helping themselves by producing seed. But okay, that was beastly. I'm gonna have to find out what that, not 100% sure what that one is, but I know it wasn't wasn't planted here. So I'm going to switch to little blue stem. And I lost my dog. There's the cat. Hi, big kitty. Here we go again. So, I do a little bit of this almost every day. And all I do is, normally, I just grab like a seed of the day, and while I'm on the walks with Izzy, I stop, yank a weed or two here and there, and drop some seed in. I normally don't, do a big chunk like this, because I don't have the time. I got other projects to do, so. But, yeah, I'm going to tackle a few of these, and then I'm going to finish up and take that dog for a walk. Yeah, I believe this is, I don't know, it might be just crabgrass, but I have a feeling it could be quackgrass. But it really fills a place in, and once you get it out like this, look at the size of that hole it left. Well, a hole in the grass canopy. So this is, I forget what day it is, but it's mid-August, nearly mid-August. So the time to plant seeds is right now for the next month. And then after that, you gotta wait until right before the first frost, so that they don't come up until next year, which is best done with cool season grasses. Or you gotta wait until late spring for some of the warm season. The ground has to be warmer. Oh geez, that's a big... Some of these weeds are perennial, so the perennial ones, I think quackgrass is perennial, but again, I'll have to double check on that. Any perennial weed would be real dangerous. Okay, I think that's about it. Here comes that dog. I gotta take her out for a walk, or she will disappear on me, or keep disappearing on me like she is now. She just checked back so she doesn't get in trouble, and now she's gonna take off again. Hello, Izzy. And there you have it. Again, what you end up with is like this. These are all places that I weeded and seeded, maybe a few weeks ago. Could be a month, who knows. There's some yellow foxtail that needs to go fairly soon, but it's not going to happen today. This is getting close to the house, so I will definitely go and get this likely tomorrow, but I'm out of time for this today. So you can see the quality grass is filling in, and then there's still like this crabgrass here and there, and yellow foxtail. Again, there's some quality grass right in here. This prairie grass gets gigantic, and the little blue stem will get 6-8 foot long roots. In the end, the prairie grasses will win. All this is doing is just speeding things up. So like right now, let's take a look at this crabgrass here. You can see that there's grass growing underneath it. In the fall, this is going to die, and these are going to keep growing, and then in the spring, these will have the advantage. The perennial grasses will have the advantage. A couple of these weeds, and I really need to study that. It's either quackgrass or what is it, goosegrass or something like that. There's two that are very similar. One is really bad. One is just an annual. The other is a perennial, and I think I have both of them here. But in the end, like I said, this was all weeded and seeded. Well, some of this was just plain planted, but you can kind of tell the areas that were weeded and seeded because it has a fair amount of open area around it, and areas more like this where the seed just took off from the initial seeding. So let me show you year 2 of doing this process over in the little blue stem garden, and then I'll wrap this up. And here is a little blue stem stand in year 2. This actually has bottle brush grass and side oats, grama and stuff along the front that I planted this spring. But this was a pure little blue stem stand as of last year. And you can see they get pretty darn big, but there is also some weeds in there. The idea is to get it so dense that the weeds don't have much of a chance. So this fall, I'll be scratching in June grass amongst the little blue stem. June grass is a cool season grass that'll start out real early in the year and keep the weedy grasses like this from developing. And sooner or later this will be naturalized, and then I'll just leave it alone. If it has a weed or two here and there, they're a natural part of the landscape anyways, so unless they get really egregious, I will just leave them. The whole goal is to have a fairly maintenance-free, in this case this is a garden, but the rest of this stuff is all going to be prairie, so I don't want to have to go out there and battle invasive weeds or anything out in the prairie, so I'll kind of do the same thing in both places to some extent. Like this this is, you can probably see it's got several heads on there. That's just a foxtail, and if I follow it down, I missed it. Generally you can get the whole thing out of there, and it's just this giant splayed. Yeah, like that. So the more of that I get out before late fall, the better, because I don't want my June grass to compete with yellow foxtail in the spring. Yeah, I'm generally better at this than this, but I guess it's the one-handed thing. Yeah, every day there's a couple new foxtail in here. Stuff grows so fast. Okay, that's it. If you want to see the progress on this stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel and then click on the update icon so you receive notice when I post new videos. Liking the video and sharing the video really help the channel, so I'd be very grateful if you did so. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.